nice intro. I think I don't need to repeat what has been said by Bronwyn and Malcolm and Martinus at McKinsey about Africa. Africa is the story. Africa is not the future, it's the story, it's here. I was amazed by some of the facts of the African youth that it just shows you. So I'm here to, and thank you for the opportunity from the council, I'm here to present a case study of a gap analysis project that we did in Lagos last year. Excuse me because I'm going to talk to the slides, so I don't know where I'll end up this side or that side. Yeah, Nigeria, enough said, they're bigger than us now officially, and Lagos is the port of entry. What we did there, we were commissioned by the client to assist in a market entry strategy. It was for a retail chain, so maybe more applicable to the retail groups here, but certainly everyone, if Africa isn't on your radar, then you must have a good reason for that. And if you are looking at Africa, certainly you will be looking at Nigeria. It doesn't mean that it's easy. So we had to go there and to develop a methodology to make sense of this place and to identify gaps. And how did we do it? We started by firstly understanding the lay of the land. We looked at our Africa Eye demographics. We mapped POIs, its points of interest, and then based on all of that, to develop an activity model to identify nodes for our client to consider. Okay, Lagos. I mean, that's our challenge, and we're the researchers, so it is a daunting place. For those of you that's been there and that hasn't been there, it's certainly not the kind of place that you want to go there every week and regularly. It is really an attack on the senses in all sense. And it's our job to try and make sense of this place that looks like this. Now, firstly, the lay of the land. It all started in Lagos Island. Part of the problem in Lagos is all these water, the land, the island nature of the main activity hub, which is Lagos Island and Victoria Island. So it's all about these islands, and then it flowed out of there to the Lekki Peninsula and then onto the mainland. So if you go there, you're gonna land there, and then try and make, because I promise you, whatever you're doing, you're going to do there, and then try and make your way there. And then on the outskirts, they've got these free trade zones and new developments that's going on. Yeah, we start by looking at the formal infrastructure. There's some shopping centres there, Ikeja Mall, the Palms, and that's about it. The rest is really mostly informal and street front. As I said, we start with our Africa Eye demographics. It's generated by our data center, and that's really households by income group. So if you look at Lekki, just for example, this peninsula, and the methodology is based on aerial photography, and we count houses and we classify them in terms of their possible household income. And then you can go into africaeye.co.za and you can do a report that will tell you, in a radius or catchment in any area in Lagos, there's the number of households, and that's all great. But for us, it's a little bit of a, putting the cart in front of the horses, or I don't know what the correct English saying is called. It's an Afrikaans saying I'm trying to translate. You understand? But you've got the demographics, but how do you know? How do we make sense of it? So we started by then almost going back to square one and starting to plot these points of interest to see where there's already stuff happening in Lagos. And we overlaid a grid of the whole of Lagos. So we mapped almost 2,000 formal points of interest, and then we overlaid a 500 meter by 500 meter grid. And then, it's like, that's how you eat an elephant, right? It's with small bites. So these grid cells, for example, that grid cell here if you look at those, there's a bank. Let me show you. There's Nike, there's Sony, there's a shopping center, there's EcoBank, cash and carry. So there's certainly already a lot happening there. And for example, there's Nike. We've mapped them, and then we just allocate weights for each of these facilities. I can't say who the retailer was, but for his specific purpose, what is the relative importance of being close to a Nike store or being close to an EcoBank, whatever. So that 52 rating of that grid cell doesn't mean 52 of anything. It's just to have a way to start comparing grids with each other. And then if you do that for the whole of Lagos, you apply some thematic modeling to see where the hotspots are, and you join some of these hotspots, now you start to make sense of it. So you can see, yes, everyone knows it's about Victoria Island, VI, there's certainly some hotspots there, but then also along these main roads where these points of interest are clustered, that's where there's stuff happening, and this is probably where this retailer should go and look at possible sites, because the risk in any place, especially in a place like Lagos, is if you go and set up shop there and you don't get supported, and so you need to feed off these other existing facilities. There's a reason why in that grid cell that scored 52, Nike, EcoBank, shopping center, all of those are already there. Whatever the reason is, doesn't matter, but they're there. So you want to piggyback on that. Okay, so what I've just scribbled out, so otherwise, you've got all the answers here. So what we've done is we've identified 16 nodes or grid cells, and then we've ranked them according to their weight. Like for that example, that 52 is actually not even one of the. It will probably rate somewhere down here. There it probably is. So there's a lot of other nodes actually with a lot more activity. And then we can weight it, and then we can start to unpack this thing. And then, again, looking at Lagos, now those colors that you see there it's three colors. It's green, it's orange, and it's a light gray. And it's just a general income classification of the households in Lagos, of which there are, I don't even know how many people, but that's actually besides the point. If it's 10 or 15 or 20 or 25, sources vary. But those are the households, and you can see by the green, that's where sort of the high income groups are. And those red circles, are the top, 16? The top 16 nodes that I've identified. I've just mapped them, and there you can see it's 16. And I've just delineated a 1 kilometer radius around each grid cell to pull the demographics from our Africa base. And the target market, in this case, it's high and medium. I suppose it will be for all of you that's looking at Lagos, it will be that. And here, just to explain this, that's the 16 nodes, again, that I've identified, looking at where the highest activity is. And, And what we've also done now with this micro catchment area, although it's just a radius, it's not necessarily a catchment area, it's just for comparative purposes. And then we can actually rank it. So this node or grid cell, AJ47, whatever, but there's a map to show you where it is. Actually, I've got the most high medium income target market households within the whole of Lagos, and it has the fourth most number of points of interest or level of activity within it. So if you compare both, again, that 2.5 doesn't mean anything, it just means that it's the best. So that specific grid cell is top in Lagos. it's got most of the target market households, and it's number 4 on the list of activity generators. So that is your first point of call. So what this is a roadmap for the client to then go and find sites. That's not what we do. Our job is to try and make sense of a place like this and to break it down into something meaningful, and in this case it was a roadmap or a wish list for the client to use. And then in reality, you've got it, you put it on your GPS, you've got all the nodes, you know which ones to start with, and you go and find sites. So that's how that area look, and that's it. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and thank you for the opportunity again. I think we certainly see at Fernridge that more and more of our work, at the moment probably 30% of our work is in Africa, and it's not Africa, it's the rest of sub-Saharan Africa, because we're part of Africa. But I know we all refer to that as Africa. So, and that's certainly growing, and I can see certainly in our business, more and more of our work will be in Africa, following the vast potential up there, and this growing youth or young potential market that sits there that we saw earlier. So that's it.